Action! Hi, this is Laurie.
This is Peter.
And how's the audio sync? I think that'll be okay. And we're with Action Heroes LA. It's been a while. It's getting a little harder to get together and do these reviews.
Yes.
Well, first of all, it's just not a whole lot out this year I've wanted to see.
Yeah, really.
It's been a tough year for like movies. Let me look at there. I don't know, but anyway, we're here. In fact, it's such a tough year for movies that after watching the last thing we reviewed, which was Laddie, the documentary about Alan Ladd Jr.,
which I actually
we decided,
really
we decided, why not? You know, he's made so many great movies. Mm-hmm. Why not pick one of his and watch it? Since there's nothing else we want to watch right now. So, after all the Oscar-nominated movies he's had, the critically acclaimed, we choose
Night Shift.
Night Shift. We chose the 1982 comedy Night Shift to review of all the Alan Ladd movies we could review.
Yes.
But you know, it's a movie I used to really enjoy back in the day, back in the 80s when it came out. And it was fun to revisit.
Yes, it was. But to me, it had one of the classic lines of forever, for all movies
of all time. And what line was that?
That Barney Rubble sure can act.
You know, when you would bring up this line in our reviews, I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? And now it's like, oh my God, that is that line from Night Shift.
Yes.
Anyway, so Night Shift is a movie from 1982 starring Henry Winkler, Michael Keaton, and Batman. Batman. The original OG movie Batman, and one of his first roles, and Shelley Long, who went on to much TV success in the sitcom Fame. Cheers, Fame. Where did I get Fame?
But the biggest star ever is in this movie.
Who is that?
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. There are people in this movie who have bit parts. I didn't even notice him in this movie that have gone on to do things. But the other thing that's big about this movie, it is Ron Howard's first film that he directed. He was a child actor, of course, in Mayberry RFD, went on to Happy Days, then became a director. Somebody gave this kid who was just a child actor and a sitcom star.
But before Mayberry RFD, he was in Mayberry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
the
that
Andy
too.
Griffith Show.
The Andy Griffith Show. That's right. That's the Andy Griffith Show. Opie Cunningham.
Yes.
As Eddie Murphy comes. So this is his first movie that he directed, and he's gone on to have an illustrious directing career.
Yes, he has.
And you would not expect the type of movies he would eventually do based on this one. But this is a solid comedy.
Mm-hmm.
This is a solid 80s comedy. Probably not the most memorable one because most people don't talk about it anymore. But it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
What would you got to say about Night Shift? What was it? Is it looking back at it? This 40 years later.
That Barney Rubble
sure can act. So let's get into Night Shift. Well, it's a story of actually it's based on a true story. It's two guys who worked in the morgue who are running a prostitution operation out of it. That apparently was very well run.
Prostitution?
Prostitution, man. I mean...
No. They were conglomerates, and they were coming together to give women of the night more prestige and more money.
Oh, their business? Well, in a way, the way this movie treats the women is more respectfully in terms of making their profession more like legit and to their benefit rather than... I mean, it's a hard thing to say because the way we're talking human trafficking nowadays, I don't know if you could make a comedy about prostitution anymore.
Well, if anything, it forwarded the notion of the soundtrack for movies.
Oh, we'll get into that too. So wait, we'll get into this. It's a comedy about Henry Winkler's character is a former stockbroker who gets stressed out and just leaves this stockbroker job and needs a quiet job, so he gets a job in the morgue. He gets put on the night shift and gets paired up
My
with
hair's falling out.
Michael Keaton, who's the madcap crazy man. And the last thing that Henry Winkler's character wants is somebody just as, exuberantly youthful and silly as Michael Keaton's character.
Note to self, exuberantly.
And so it's a classic, mismatched pair kind of comedy. Henry Winkler's neighbor is played by Shelley Long. She happens to be a prostitute, and so it ends up they become when her pimp goes to jail, and she and her other ladies of the evening don't have anybody to manage their business, their career. Michael Keaton's character, what is his name? Billy Blaze.
Yeah, but he does.
He
also doubles as a.
He has all kinds of jobs.
A chauffeur driver.
Yeah, he does everything. He has the mad guy. Hey, let's manage their career. But they end up taking it on, and with Henry Winkler's character being straight laced, it's like, well, I'll get you a retirement plan, and health care, and you'll own part of the business. So they start making a lot of money. So the ladies have more agency as to their career.
Yes, when it used to be, the ladies get about 10% and the pimps get about 90%. Henry Winkler thought, it's better to give the ladies 90%.
And we'll just need 10. And then 10%. I know he was a stockbroker, so he knows how to take money and invest it and build on it. So anyway, there's the romantic subplot in that he falls in love with Shelley Long's character. They fall in love with each other, but he's already engaged to someone else, and and she's a prostitute. So there's the dramatic comedic tension there. So anyway, what do you think? How does Night Shift hold up all these years later as a comedy?
Actually, it holds up very well.
It holds up pretty well, yeah. I agree.
And I think maybe it was because it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
And, it was a great idea. It was a great idea to do it as a comedy. It's one
of those true stories, like if somebody made it up, you wouldn't believe it.
Yes, exactly.
It's kind of like, what? That doesn't make any sense, but yeah. What it does, and this movie put Michael Keaton on the map in a way. And he's such a great comic presence in this, and he's still funny. Just his he seems to be like ad-libbing and things like that. He's just hilarious in this movie, and the
ad-lib.
One of the things he does, he has a Walkman. For you kids who don't know what a Walkman is, was an audio recorder where you could record it on little cassettes. Yeah, you would play music on it, but you could also, some of them you could record on. And so he's an idea man. He's constantly coming up with crazy lame brain ideas and recording them to himself and stuff. But he's just a lot of fun to watch, and it's fun to see the two the more serious Henry Winkler character and him play off of each other.
Right.
And so yeah, it holds up as a comedy. It's sad though. It's like I don't think you could make a movie like this nowadays. Because I don't think you can joke the same way about prostitution.
No, you couldn't joke about it. So
yeah. I do. One of the things you got to appreciate with this movie is it does respect the women and gives them, they can have their choice of that career, but be safe and, earn a good living and a respectable living in a way, even though it's illegal. But that's one angle of the movie that I think kind of saves it to be able to watch nowadays, but maybe not remake. But yeah, this movie was still kind of fun. The issue I had with it this time, it's kind of like the cliche with Henry Winkler, the woman who played his fiance is just kind of annoying and nagging and irritating and just unappealing on every level, and that's typical of romantic comedies. So, but it was played by Gina Hecht, who used to be on TV. I think, was she on Mork and Mindy or something like that? I forget. I think she was one of the characters on that. Clint Howard is in this because Ron Howard always has to have his little brother in his movies. So his first appearance in a Ron Howard film. But let's bring up, there's a lot of people who had like bit parts in this movie. Like Kevin Costner was one of the frat boys. Jade Barrymore, who maybe not a name, but she's Barrymore family member. The legendary acting.
Yes.
And that might be, I wonder if that's Drew Barrymore's mom. I think it might be.
It could have been.
Shannon Doherty, who went on to have a pretty big TV career after this. On
Richard
Belzer. Richard Belzer, who's always plays a cop and everything. But he just passed away recently too.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and Vincent Schiavelli, who's the Admiral Akbar fish-looking dude. He was always in a ton of things. Probably one of the biggest roles I remember him in was the movie Ghost. He was kind of the mean ghost that was trying to get after Patrick Swayze's nice ghost. And Charles Fleischer. Do you know who Charles Fleischer is?
No.
You don't know. He's a comedian too. If you saw him, you would know him, kind of familiar. But he did the voice for Roger Rabbit in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Okay.
So, which was kind of that was a kind of a breakout revolutionary movie at the time.
We have a Michael Jackson pseudo reference.
Oh, do we?
Yes.
Oh, what?
Ola Ray.
Ola Ray, yes, I do have her on my list. Yes, Ola Ray is in this. I think she was one of the prostitutes.
Yes.
I guess so. And she was, of course, co-starred opposite Michael Jackson in the Thriller music video. So that is Ola Ray, and she'd have bit parts and things in movie, and I'm sure you have an Ola Ray story, right? They had all kind of people had crushes on Ola Ray back in the day. Come on, focus.
Yeah.
Got some autofocus issues.
But she helped me get through puberty.
She helped you get through puberty. She was beautiful. She probably still is, I'm sure.
She was a very
black
beautiful.
Don't crack.
And she's actually really smart.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
she
knows a few things.
She knows
other than but she knows.
I'm not sure where that is going, and should I ask?
No, we'll just
leave it at that.
She knows how to be in a theater, how to present herself. Looking back, and just because I was there and saw her looking at me,
what?
But hey,
what?
It happens.
What? You were in a theater with Ola Ray?
Yes.
What theater? When was it? Well, it had to be back in the day.
It was out in Hollywood.
Were you dressed as Prince?
Oh no. This was way before.
Because she was cheating on Michael Jackson. That's what it is. Oh my gosh.
She was the scream queen before there were scream queens.
I guess so. Okay. Because of Thriller or something else?
Yeah, because of Thriller.
Okay. Yeah, she does scream in that movie. So anyway, back to Night Shift. I want to bring up Shelley Long because she was a great comedic actor especially when she got to television and Cheers, which is a favorite show of mine, particularly her years. I've just been rewatching that recently too, some episodes. So, and she's in this. This was before she got Cheers, and so it's kind of a very different character for her. But I kind of still see her as Diane Chambers instead of a prostitute, really. Yes. So,
but I'm telling you,
come on, focus.
I was sold on the I was sold on the soundtrack.
Well, yeah, that's one thing we have to bring up. There is a song in this movie I was kind of surprised to hear because it later became a hit song, not tied to this movie at all. and it's the song.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the That's What Friends Are For.
Yes.
Written by Burt Bacharach and Carol Bayer Sager, legendary music composer, writers, and songwriters. And it was sung by Rod Stewart in this movie. And later on, I think about 4 years later, became a hit for Elton John, Gladys Knight, Dionne Warwick, and one other person, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
So, and they did that to raise money for the AIDS epidemic at the time.
Yes. But the one I'm talking about, did you know that the Rolling Stones was in this?
No. What?
Jumping
Jack Flash. That's right, because Michael Keaton does. You want to hear some music? Yeah, he starts singing "Jumpin' Jack Flash" while he's driving the limo.
Yeah. Driving the limo, got it ready. You want some music? Yeah.
He's great in this movie. I think he makes the movie. So one thing that I and this was a complaint for mine. Back then too, this movie kind of runs out the steam at the end. Like when it hits its high point and they get found out and have to go to court and stuff. It doesn't. The way it resolves itself is kind of silly. It's kind of a little flat and silly, but it's not so much that it's. I don't know.
The ending. I liked it. I was still in it.
You were still in it?
I was still there.
So, look at that Michael Keaton back there. But, it's, I always thought that the ending didn't quite wrap up with the same kind of level of energy and entertainment as the rest of the movie does. It kind of runs out of steam for me.
Well, they were caught.
They were caught. They got their jobs back because the mayor and the city didn't want to be embarrassed. So.
Yes.
And it just all wraps up in a happy ending. Well,
that Michael Keaton can sing.
He can sing.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So. Anyway, but yeah, so Night Shift. It's a fun movie to revisit. Yeah, yes. I don't think it could be remade again. But yeah, check it out. And you have any final thoughts on, besides Michael Keaton can sing on Night Shift?
That Barney Rubble sure can act.
Indeed he can. So that Night Shift, I think I bought it. It was like $1.50 or something like that too. Between renting and buying, it was about the same price. So I just bought it on like Amazon Prime or something like that. So if you've seen it, it's probably free on YouTube, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. You could probably find the video. If you've seen it, remember it from the past, let us know in the comments what you think. And we out.
We are out. But go watch it. It's a good movie.
It's a fun movie. It's especially if you can watch it for free. All right. We out, guys.
We out.